Every business needs AI, but almost none of them know how and where to implement it. That's why over the next couple of years, there's going to be a massive increase in demand for AI consultants. Now, if you guys don't know who I am, I'm Kia and I've worked as an AI consultant for the past couple of years. And in this video, I'm going to show you the exact roadmap that you can follow to set up your own AI consultancy, even if you're a complete beginner. So let's get right into it. I want to first start by saying that AI consulting is the future. Now, implementing AI into businesses is really a two-step process. First and foremost, you have to strategize by telling the business what the best opportunities for AI implementation actually is, and then you need a developer to come in and develop those custom solutions for that business. So for example, if I were to go up to an accounting firm, I would first need to tell them, well, there's 5 opportunities that you guys can implement AI that will bring you positive ROI. That's the strategizing component. And then I'll get the developers to come in and develop that project for them. But the reality is, as AI capabilities improve, strategy becomes way more important than development. Because if you think about it, even right now, building AI apps is pretty easy. Building on NA10 as a no-code platform is pretty easy. Now, as AI capabilities get better and better, the barriers to entry to development will keep decreasing until eventually development will probably get commoditized. Because what was happening in the past is, for example, to build an app, you'd need a full team of software developers that spent 3 or 4 years at university. Nowadays, you can build some basic apps using just prompts. But in the future, as these coding agents get better and better, what will happen is literally every business will be able to write a prompt and build their own apps in seconds. And a big testimony to this is literally the update that NA10 made the other day, where you can now prompt the workflow that you want rather than having to drag and drop it. Not like dragging and dropping was already easy enough. Now they're making it even easier, so you can literally just write whatever you want in natural language, and in the back end, the full system will get built for you. But as I said, this technology and also similar technologies like AI applications and AI agents are still quite primitive. But if we continue to accelerate at the same rate that we are going at the moment, it's very likely that over the next couple of years, development will be commoditized. Now let's think into the future. Let's imagine it's a couple of years down the line and we have these amazing coding and automation agents that can build out anything from just one prompt. How I see it is that even in a world like that, business owners would still get a lot of value from talking to an AI consultant and seeking advice and strategy before they go and build out these apps. Because the reality is that the average Joe doesn't know anything about where current capabilities are and how they can use current capabilities to maximize their ROI. And so even if technically they could build anything they want, they still probably would want to talk to an AI consultant. And that is exactly why I believe AI consulting is the future. Okay, now let's say you agree that AI consulting is going to be very important in the future. How can you actually capitalize on this opportunity? Let me show you. The approach that most beginners in the AI automation space are following is to open an AI agency. Now, the idea of an AI agency is that you build custom solutions for businesses. And generally how those custom solutions come about is that a business comes to you with requirements and you go and you build that solution out for them. So a business will come to you with requirements. For example, they might say, can you please automate this specific onboarding process for me? And what you do is you figure out how that process works, and then you go in the back end and you automate that process for them using no-code tools or whatever you end up using. But the idea behind AI agencies is that you build out specific projects for businesses. Now, to run an AI agency, you still do need to do a certain amount of discovery and consulting, but that's not the prominent side of your business. You're not necessarily getting paid to do the consulting. You're kind of just doing the consulting as a gateway to do that specific project for that business. Now, if you agree that AI consulting is going to be the future, what you should be doing is you should be trying to position yourself as an AI transformation partner. Now, if you have no clue what that means, let me explain it to you. The difference between an AI agency and an AI transformation partner is that with an AI agency, you're kind of just building out one-off solutions. But as an AI transformation partner, you're actually partnering with the business to completely transform their processes with AI. So instead of you just building out one project for them, what you're doing is you're actually investing time in understanding how their business works, building out a full roadmap, and then automating their processes one by one using AI and automation. So in an AI agency, you're very development heavy because you're making the majority of your money from development and you're only doing consulting as a gateway to building out those projects. But as an AI transformation partner, you're actually more valued as a consultant than a developer. You're coming in, you're understanding the business, you're building a full strategy, and then you're building out those projects one by one. So if you did want to become a transformation partner, it's very likely that you'll end up targeting businesses that are about 50 to 250 employees. otherwise known as mid-market businesses. The reason why you target these businesses is that these businesses actually have money. I mean, if they have 50 to 250 employees, they're likely making at least more than $5 to $10 million a year. And so they can invest in someone coming in and helping them with AI transformation. But the real opportunity here is that they can't go to these big consulting firms. They can't go to McKinsey and the likes because those consulting firms are going to charge them a lot of money to transform their business with AI. And although these businesses have money, they probably don't have enough money to invest in these big consulting firms. And that's why they need someone to come and help them with this transition. And that is a perfect opportunity for people like me and you to come in and take that part of the market. But the gap in the market and the fact that we're moving towards a world where consulting is very important aren't the only reasons why you should become a transformation partner. Because by positioning your business as a transformation partner, you'll also maximize your customer lifetime value. Because if you think about it, with the AI agency model, what's happening is you're building off one-off projects. So you might build this project for company X, and then you build this project for company Y, and then you build this project for company Z. But the beauty about this business model is that you come into company X, you build out a full roadmap, and then you automate projects one by one. So you probably end up doing 5 to 10 projects for each company. Now, the fact that you're doing repeated projects for the same business also means that you'll have more trust built with that business, which in turn means the sale will become easier and easier every single time. So once you build out the first project for the business and they see real ROI, they'll start trusting for you to build more and more projects for them. So then the pitch on the second project is going to be a lot easier. And if you do a good job at both of them, the third project is going to be even easier than that, fourth, fifth, and so on and so forth. So because you're building that relationship with the client, doing more and more with that same client, which is going to increase your LTV, is also going to be a lot easier than trying to sell and convince a new client that you're the best at what you do. Now, also, as you're building relationships with this business and you're understanding their business back to front, you're going to have to do less discovery than if you were trying to go to different businesses every single time. Because let's say if you're working with an accounting firm, you'll do that discovery up front and you'll understand their business back and forth. And then as you're building out the first and second project, now you know a lot more about their business, and so you don't have to do as much discovery for the third project. And so by positioning yourself as a transformation partner, not only you'll make more money from each client, but also making money will become easier and easier as you build more and more projects for them. Now, with that said, let's take a look at the approach you'd use as an AI transformation partner. So generally as an AI TP, you'd follow a 6-step process. First off, you do discovery, meaning you try and talk to that business to understand all their processes and understand how their business actually works. And then once you know their business quite well, you'll diagnose problems and bottlenecks that are currently inside their business. So you might figure out that a certain process is producing a lot of waste for them, and if you automate that process, it could bring a lot of ROI for their business. But you can only do that once you actually have done discovery and you've understood their processes back to front. Then once you've diagnosed the bottlenecks inside their business, what you'll do is you'll build out a project roadmap that will tell them exactly what projects they should build in sequence to maximize ROI. So you might, for example, come up with a conclusion that first they should build out a quick onboarding automation. Now, I know I keep saying the onboarding example, but it's just the one that comes to mind. But let's say first they have to build an onboarding project because that one is going to get them the quickest and highest ROI out of all the projects that you have planned out for them in the future. Then they might want to automate some sort of lead gen process that you've come up with them. Then they might want to automate some sort of customer support process. Then they might want to build some sort of client-facing app, and so on and so forth. So you come up with this pipeline of projects that, if built sequentially, will bring them the highest ROI in the least amount of time. Because that's what it's really about. Maximizing ROI in the shortest amount of time possible. So once you've built out this roadmap, then you'll actually start developing these projects for them. Now, if you wanted to work as a pure AI consultant, you wouldn't actually do this development. You might have some sort of development agency that comes in and helps you build out these projects one by one. But what I'd recommend is building an internal team that will actually allow you to fulfill on these projects one by one as well. Because doing that will maximize your LTV by a huge amount. Because generally development is still a lot more costly than consulting itself. But as we move towards a world where development becomes easier and easier, this first portion that's related to consulting becomes more important than the development portion itself. Now, as you're developing these projects and you're building this relationship with the company, you'll also be training their staff. staff members. So not only are you helping them understand AI technology and understand how they can use it, you're also training them on the new processes post-automation. Offering training as a service is also a really good way of making additional money from the business, and it's also really good because it will position you as an expert in the field and it will increase that trust and confidence the client has in your capabilities. Now, finally, as you're building out more and more projects, you'll eventually end up transforming their entire business from a business that was fully manual with no AI to a business that's now AI augmented and leading their industry. So that's the general 6-step process that you want to follow if you want to position yourself as an AI transformation partner with businesses. But the reality is that it's not that easy. Becoming an AI transformation partner is definitely not beginner friendly because you'd have to know a lot about technical AI concepts. If you want to be able to advise businesses on what steps they should take to maximize their ROI from AI implementation, then you need to have a fair amount of experience in the field, and you also have to understand AI back to front. And the reality is that if you're just starting out and you're just entering the industry, this is going to be very difficult for you to do. But even in addition to the lack of experience, pitching AI transformation services is also very difficult because the business needs to actually trust you first. Because technically what you're doing is you're telling the business that you're going to transform most of their processes with AI over a span of maybe a couple of months to a couple of years. And so that business has taken a big leap of faith by agreeing to work with you and listening to the advice that you're giving them. That's why if you're a complete beginner, I would definitely not recommend trying to be an AI transformation partner right off the bat. What you should do instead is you should start off as an AI agency owner, build out these one-off projects and do some consulting. And then once you feel confident in your capabilities and you know that you can definitely advise big businesses on what they should and shouldn't do with AI, only then I would recommend trying to transition into an AI transformation partner. And so with that said, I actually think it's a good thing that most people that are entering the space are starting from here because they should. That's where you gain all the skills and all the knowledge and the experience. And then once you have all of those underneath your belt, then you can try and become a transformation partner, target slightly bigger businesses, and take advantage of all those opportunities that we talked about before. So with that said, here's the exact roadmap that you can follow starting today to eventually become an AI transformation partner. As I said, first and foremost, what you want to do is you want to start off as an AI agency. So you typically do this by working as a freelancer and doing custom one-off projects for businesses. This is actually a great place to start because once you're doing this, what you're doing is you're learning to develop projects, you're learning technical AI concepts, for example, what AI is capable of, what AI is not capable of, what needs to be considered for AI safety, what AI risks are there, and all these other concepts that will eventually make you into the perfect consultant. As you're also doing this, you're also gaining testimonials and reviews and increasing your social proof, which will later be used to convince bigger businesses that you can actually help them become AI first. Now, as you get more confident building out these projects as an AI agency, I'd recommend trying to do a little bit more of consulting in your day-to-day. So actually try and diagnose problems for businesses and build out roadmaps for them after doing full discovery sessions. When you think you're ready, I want you to start training their team members. So for example, you might offer sessions teaching their employees how to use Perplexity or ChatGPT or how to do prompt engineering. Even if you don't charge for this at the start, it's still good practice because not only will it make you more confident, but it will also make that business be more confident in your capabilities. So even if you're not technically charging for these consultations, I want you to start practicing it anyway. Now, as you're building out these projects for businesses, I want you to start using the foot in the door technique. And basically what that technique means is once you've built out one smaller project for them and you've gained their trust, you can try and pitch them on bigger and bigger projects. And let's say, for example, now you guys have done 2 projects and you've proven that you bring good ROI for their business and now they trust you as an actual AI expert. What you'll do next is you'll actually pitch them on either consulting or transformation retainers as an AI transformation partner. So at this stage, instead of you just saying, okay, I'll build out this specific project for you, you'll say, let's have another conversation. Let me do a full discovery for your business, understand all the implementation opportunities, and then map out the exact roadmap that we should follow to maximize your ROI in the least amount of time possible. And then once you guys bang out that specific roadmap, you can go and build out those projects one by one for them, either on a retainer model or on a per project basis. So at this stage, you're still technically an AI agency, agency, but you're actually trying to build relationships with your customers over the long term. Now, once you've done multiple projects for at least one customer and you feel confident in your capabilities and you have a case study to show for it, you then actually position your business as an AI transformation partner, meaning you change your marketing from saying you're an AI agency and you build out custom projects to saying that you work with businesses for the long term and you transform their processes one by one with AI. Now, at this point, you'd probably also change your ICP to start targeting mid-market businesses for the reasons that we spoke about before. And that four-step process is exactly how you can go from a complete beginner to AI and AI automation to an expert that works with big businesses on transforming their processes one by one. So just to reiterate on that one more time, you want to first start off as an AI agency owner, building out one-off projects for businesses. And as you're doing this, you want to improve your consulting skills by diagnosing problems and building out full roadmaps. Now, once you've built out a successful first project for a business, you also want to pitch them on more and more projects to gain their trust and also increase the LTV. And eventually, once you think it's the right moment, you'll pitch the business on a full transformation package that will take them from zero to AI augmented, one project at a time. Now, once you've done this and you've got the skills and also social proof to show for it, what you do next is you'll actually position your business as an AI transformation partner for mid-market businesses. And that's exactly how you go from zero to AITP as a complete beginner. Now, we've just launched an accelerator program that's going to get you to not only become an AI expert, but also set up your agency within just 28 days. So I'd love to see you guys in there if you're serious about the AI opportunity. I'll put the link for it in the description down below. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did find this video valuable, I'd really appreciate it if you like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.